Hey there, in today's video I'm going to talk about the running show at the National Exhibition Centre in Birmingham in the UK. I'm making this video because I wanted to see what a big running exhibition would be like. One, in comparison to maybe what you might see at one of the major marathons, but with a variety of brands. So I wanted to see that, and I decided to come to the show in the UK. And to do that, I flew over from Ireland. You could fly back there and back in the day, but I flew in a small little propeller engined jobby from Aer Lingus. It was great. The plane doesn't fly as fast as a jet, but boy, when they're taxiing today, really go at it. But it was very easy to get over, and the NEC is very close to Birmingham City Airport. I walked it and walked to this hotel. I decided to stay in the Getting Hotel. I wouldn't do it again. It's okay. I mean, I wanted to use the sauna, but it's only available certain hours, or the swimming pool. I checked in. When I went to check in, they said, I said, oh, could I have a room with a view? It'd be nice to see the lake. And the guy didn't say anything. He just said, did I want a bath or did I want a shower? And I said I didn't mind, but it'd be nice to have a room with a view. And if you were to look out there, there's a beautiful view of an air conditioning unit. So yeah, it's okay. I think there's better hotels around the NEC. So yeah, I wouldn't stay here again, but it's fine. It's nearby. So I wandered down to this morning today is Saturday. I booked Saturday and Sunday because I wanted to make a video and I didn't know how long it would take. So I wandered down. It opened at 9 o'clock. I was expecting to just sort of breeze in. There was a huge queue. It took 15 minutes to get in. The queue was huge, but it didn't take long to get in. Some people in this queue were saying they were there because they thought there might be some freebies. I went again in the afternoon and there was no queue. So yeah, don't turn up first thing. That'd be my bit of advice. But once I went in, I wanted to see the major brands first. So I went to, there was a stand by Hoka, Mizuno, there was Adidas, a few of the bigger brands. Most of them were very disappointing. Craft had a stand. It looked like something that TK Maxx would knock up. It was really bad. For a major running brand, it really was shabby. And I like Craft stuff, I really do. I was very disappointed there. That was disappointing. Then there was, Hoka was pretty good, a nicely designed stand. It was big. They had some really nice tops that I was really interested in. Didn't have any prices on them. I couldn't figure out what they were. There was people wandering around, but anyway, that was the Hoka stand. They had a range of shoes, not a huge range. Adidas was okay. They had a variety of shoes. I was hoping to see, maybe even in a glass case there, Adidas Adizero or Pro 1. It wasn't there. And they had a variety of ones, some on discount, and that was okay. And they had a lot of stock of sort of random clothing that was at sale at 50% off. And that was interesting. So I saw a really nice singlet, £35 it was, so half that, $17.50 I suppose. And I didn't buy it, but there were some nice clothes. But again, it looked a bit sort of, it didn't look great. The Mizuno stand was the one I enjoyed the most. I went there and I was trying to get a Wave Rebellion Pro 2. That's what I was really trying to find. They didn't have one. I think it's been delayed in shipping. But it was a very friendly stand. Anyway, somebody said, well, why don't you try the Wave Rebellion Pro? Seems they had that. And they said, so it was on discount. But anyway, I tried it on the treadmill and it was really good. And it's a shoe I want to test because I think it's designed mainly for 4-foot strikers. I'm not one of those unless I'm going shorter distances. And I wanted to see whether it would help me onto my 4-foot or whether it would be a complete waste of time on the longer races, but could be really fast over shorter distances. But the funny thing was, it was really comfortable shoe. I was really surprised how comfortable it was to run in. That was how lightweight anyway, I'm really looking forward to the Wave Rebellion Pro 2 when it comes out. So they were the bigger brands. As with all these, it was funny, but the area wasn't full. So there were parts of it that were completely empty and you could sort of see a line. I went behind to show back. So there was plenty of space for other brands. I had done an awful lot of checking before I came to see what I wanted to see. And I had gone through every single brand to see, and I made a list of the things I wanted to see. And that was pretty good. I wandered around everywhere, and I'll wander again tomorrow. I might take some more B-roll. There was all sorts of, there was the usual sort of, there was a travelator that you could run up that was going at high speed. That was a bit of fun. There was a bit of that. I didn't do that. I thought my back, my age, my excuses in early. Yeah, I didn't do that. But it looked fun. People would go and they'd get to the top, and it was the getting off at the top that was the difficult bit, and they'd tumble back down, some of them. But that was kind of funny. Darn Tough had a nice stand where there was a sort of spinning wheel, and I like Darn Tough socks. I like their ethos, but there was a spinning wheel. You could win some socks. There's a big queue for that, or else there was various things. Sometimes you didn't win socks, but that was quite good. That was entertaining, and there were a lot of stands where there were testing of running or jumping or whatever. I did some sort of balance test that I was miserable at. I did that. My balance is usually okay, but this you have to close your eyes and do various things. So yeah, I was low on that. So it was that. There were a lot of charity brands. I was a bit surprised at that. So Greenpeace were here. I used to be a member of Greenpeace. I used to collect for Greenpeace. So I had a good chat with the guy about that. They only have 200,000 UK members. If you're in the UK, he'd like to encourage you to join. I really enjoyed being a member a long time ago. It's a show picture me a long time ago in my Whale Wars t-shirt. But the World Wildlife Fund were here as well, and various sort of local charities. The WWF told me they're here 50 shows a year, so there was a lot of those kinds of things. And then there were all sorts of brands. There was nutrition. I'll come on to nutrition. I'll come on to the things that I'm really interested in at the end. But there was a variety of small brands. As it happens, as you go around, you see all sorts of stuff. But it was the small brands that I was really interested in. There was kind of a lot of people who'd sell a lot of different, sort of wholesale clothes kind of stuff. So selling all sorts of stuff, and they were all around the place. And there were talks, so there were organised talks. I didn't go to any of the organised talks. I filmed one or two. They didn't really interest me. But I did see Steve Cram talking, and I like Steve Cram. He was telling a really interesting tale about running in Oslo in Norway. I think it was Oslo. And where the race was on late in the day. I think was he saying 11:30? I think it was. And how he was walking around all day, didn't know what to do, drank too much caffeine. But, he broke the world record. It's really a tale and really relevant, seeing as myself and Chris are heading off there for a race to be discovered. Anyway, that's too later detail. So that was interesting. Steve Cram was really interesting. He looked fantastic. He looked in great shape, and that was enjoyable. But that was just sort of randomly there. And then I went around and I just looked at stands that I felt were interesting. And the first one I went to was Nike Vision Pro, and of the stands, the things I saw, things I wanted to buy, I've narrowed them down to about 5 or 6, and that was one I was interested in, was Nike Vision Pro. It was a really interesting. They're making sunglasses. They do make a prescription set. I spoke to somebody there, and they said that they may be available soon. So I'm hoping to try those when they are, because as I wear glasses obviously, but I run with prescription lenses, and it'd be interesting to try a different brand other than the Rudy Project ones, which I run in, which are superb. I have two different styles, but it would be nice to try something else. So that was interesting. I thought that was interesting. They seem to be affiliated with Nike, not quite part of Nike. It was a small, very well organized, well run stand, and that was interesting to see. That was probably the first one that was of interest to me. I bought a variety of products here. They're on the table. I'll go through them. There was one that wasn't in the show, but I was really interested in, which is This Is Food. I watch a lot of Matt Armstrong's videos, and he reviews this, or he promotes this all the time. I bought this in the local store. It's really good. Happy Banana, 500 calories. Meal replacement. It was really, really super. So it wasn't at the show, but yeah, they don't sell it in Ireland, but I thought that was really good. Things I bought, speaking of the food, we'll go through. The thing that I wanted to see before I came was Kendall Mint. I bought this. I'm doing a giant test of various gels and nutrition, and I had bought this on Amazon, came to Ireland, and I wanted to try every single one they had, so I was delighted when I saw they were here. I bought 2 sets of this. Basically, you use it, you put it in a fillable bottle as a Hydro Pack, and this will do 70, I think it's 70 grams per, it is a take 150, so 70 grams an hour. So 2 of these and I'll get 4 hours, and that's all I need. So I bought this. I love the taste of it. This one is the mint. It contains caffeine and some electrolytes. It tastes, sounds terrible. It tastes like a really nice tasting toothpaste. I really like it. I don't, I've gone off Morton, so that is, so I'm going to be running the Boston Marathon, that almost certainly, but it's really good. They also had a really nice, this is Natural Energy, Simply Delicious. These are really good. These are our energy bars. It tastes really fantastic. One of the things I really liked about it, though, was how tight the packaging was. If you watch my Alpha Fly video where I'm giving out about packaging. IKEA have a slogan: "We refuse to ship air." And this is another great example where it's all tightly done. Everything's in there. Superfood bar. Tasted fantastic. I ate one not so long ago. I went to the show. I'm probably overhyped because I tested every gel, Torque gels, which are good. I tried some of those. So they were good. So I stocked up on the Kindle. So that is very good. I then I looked at a lot of tech. I went to, there wasn't a huge amount of tech. There was Shocks headphones. There was a few things here and there. But I ended up buying this Arc X smart ring. I hadn't heard of it, but it's won lots of awards and awards that I have a bit of faith in. But what it is it's an unusual object, and I have 2 smart rings already and 2 watches, 2 foot buds. Anyway, this is a very unusual little device, and I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to use it for, but I have a couple of things in mind. It comes in this case. I think it's about €70 or something like that, maybe it's a bit more. But it comes in this little case with a USB charger and clips for clipping onto bicycles and things. And it comes. There's it's a very interesting thing. The device itself is fairly small. You might see a little blue light flashing. And it goes into a variety of sized rings. And you get various different rubber rings depending on what you're going to be doing. The thing is waterproof, is my understanding, but you could be kayaking, you could be cycling, you could be running. And so you might be wearing gloves, and you'd be skiing, I think was another one. And this is obviously very big, but you can control this. It's a joystick, it goes in 4 ways to control anything by Bluetooth. And I have a sort of unusual plan for this. So yeah, I looked at it, I'm gadget mad, and I thought, can I justify that? Went away, looked it up online in the hotel, went back, and exciting plans for that. So I was really pleased to see that. I did my usual packing list, and I forgot to pack socks, and I ended up buying a pair of these socks, which I don't know if you'll recognize the colors from them, but anyway, it's a company called here we are now. They're called Shyu, SHYU, and these are the racing socks. And one of the things that's interesting about Shyu is they make them to match carbon plate racing shoes. And as it happens, I brought a pair of these. That they also had a pair, but they only had a pair size, I think women's 4.5, because they're the only ones they could get. But lucky enough, I got myself a pair of these. Got a pair of these to go with them. I might go out running in these tomorrow. So if there's a clip, you'll see. But they're good stocks in themselves. I might do a small review of them before or at some stage, but they have a little bit of reflectivity. They're not that interesting in this color for the Alpha Fly, but in the there's various other. So Nike often make a bright pink shoe with yellow. They had an example, and the stocks to exactly match with the black and white and a little bit of orange. It's not so good, but yeah, they were interesting. I'm looking forward to running in those. So I got those. There was then 2 things that I saw that there was a couple of things I saw that were really good, but one thing that I really probably the thing that I bought, that was the thing that I thought best, was this thing called One Good Thing. Again, very tightly packaged by 100% recyclable, made in the UK. I think it's only available in the UK at the moment, but I'm sure it will come elsewhere. But it opens up, and what is welcome to a new way of snacking, the world's first wrapper-free bars with a 100% edible coating. So here they are here, and I'll open it up. I ate them earlier on, or ate some of them earlier on, but I picked various ones. But they come in various. They come, I think, in protein and non-protein. I think that was it. But anyway, this is a salted caramel bar, and there's no wrapping. Whatever wrapping is made, I think, of beeswax, and you can. It just you don't need any packaging. So I've been preparing for the Boston Marathon. I'm obsessed by not creating any litter when I go to Boston, and in marathons generally, particularly Boston for obvious reasons. But what I want to do is have stuff without any packaging, and this is really good because much as I like gels, and I am going to be using the Kendall Mint, it's nice every now and then just to have something. And when you bite on this, there's a filling inside it, so that the outside but you could bite a piece and then save a piece for later. So these are really good. There's this is salt caramel, but as I said, cherry bakewell, honeycomb, lemon drizzle. So I might eat all those today. So they were really good. The show itself, is it worth going to? Well, it was interesting in that when you compare it to something that's in one of the bigger marathons, New York, Chicago, London, well, I haven't been to London, but Berlin, it's no better. It's not as good as those, to be honest. I didn't think, because the only disadvantage of those is that, one, you probably have to be in the race to get into them. Not always. In Rotterdam, you can just go in. Certainly in Dublin, you can just go in. You don't have to show a pass, and maybe that's the case in some cities. But usually there's only one brand of shoe, so maybe New Balance or maybe Adidas. But my experience of Adidas in Berlin and New Balance in New York was, it was a fabulous stand and loads of stuff and dedicated stuff. So, and obviously you have to pay to go to the show. So yeah, it was okay. I mean, but the smaller brands, it was really good. But what made it worthwhile for me, the entire thing, what made it worthwhile, and was I went to a stand called Jog On, and it's been on my mind a lot about what to do with shoes, and jogonagain.com. I got talking to Tony, who set up Jogging Buddy. I think he said 2009, and it's 128 countries. And I think it was a way, I haven't looked at Jog On Buddy much, but I think it's a way of pairing up if you're somewhere and you want to go running. If anyone ever wants to go running in Dublin, you don't have to look too far. I'll go running with anyone. But he set up Jog On Again, and it was a way of downstreaming shoes when people had stopped running in them. So it's been on my mind. Last year he took in 33,000 pairs of shoes. He was taking in shoes literally as we were talking. People were coming in with pairs of shoes. It was amazing the condition, how good the shoes were in. There was 87%, I think he said, were reusable. I saw lots of shoes that had maybe 5, 6, 10k on them, barely worn. And that was a big shock to me. There was some barely worn shoes. And what Tony does is they go off to, they might go to NGOs. Sometimes they're kept for disaster relief in hurricane or earthquake zones, things like that. And he still ends up with some that maybe some that when they're not really wearable, then he's hoping to get a shredder this year and do that way. I think he's starting in Germany. It'd be great if he started in Ireland, but it was really good. I've been looking, my general ethos is I'm trying to make, when I review shoes or anything like that, is to try and get people to have better choices so that they're picking the right thing and maybe using that more. Now, that could be a large element of self-justification, but that's what I try to do a bit. Knowing that when the shoe, at least when it's finished, is going somewhere ethical and usable is really good. So yeah, that was really good to see. The hotel, if I was coming again, I would just fly over for the day and fly back. But then because I'm making a video, I decided to stay, and it is enjoyable. I mean, there are lots of things in and around the NEC, things to do. But yeah, see you in the next one.